Hi everyone, I'm Gina from Gina K Designs. Today on StampTV, I'm going to show you a fun background technique that makes use of all of those scraps you have laying around your stamp room. Let me show you the tools and products you're going to need to do this technique. First, you're going to need some scraps. And every time I make a card using pattern paper, if I'm using a 6x6 paper pack, I always have a strip of pattern paper left over that is about that wide as 3 of these strips put together. And so these collect in my scrap box, and I really never know what to do with them. So you're going to need paper scraps, and I'm using scraps from the new Delicate Essentials 6x6 pattern paper pack. And that's the paper pack that also comes in the new Birthday Essentials StampTV kit. The ones I'm using are this green vine, this yellow vine, and then this blue leafy pattern. Okay, you're also going to need some cardstock, and the cardstock I'm using is the Gina K Designs white layering weight cardstock, some of our black onyx, and then for the card base, I'm using one of our heavy base weight pieces, and this measures 4 1/4 by 11 inches. It's scored at 5 1/2 inches and folded in half. Then you're going to need some adhesive and a pair of scissors, and I'm using my Cutter Bee scissors. Okay, to begin, what you want to do is you want to take whatever scraps of paper that you have and you want to cut them down to 1/2 inch strips. Now I would make sure that I use pieces of paper that are, some of them are at least the full 6 inches of the 6x6 paper pack. If you have smaller ones, you can cut those down and use them in various places, which you'll get the hang of after I show you how to do this. But make sure that you have a few that are the full 6 inches long by 1/2 inch across. And you can see I've cut all of these up already. But one thing I want you to take note of, for these vine patterns, one of them, the vines, is going the long way, and the other one, the vines, are going the short way. And that makes them look a lot more different, and it also will give a little bit more interest to your card project. Okay, so to begin, you want to start in this top corner. And what I'm going to do is take a green piece, and I'm going to lay that green piece right about there. That's going to start my background. So I want to get some mono adhesive onto that strip, and I want to lay that down right about there. That'll be good. Okay. Now the reason I started in the corner is because I want everything to be very straight, and this makes it a lot easier for it to be straight. Okay, my next piece is going to go up against this piece, this strip, but I'm going to leave an 1/8 of an inch margin between them, like that. So I'm going to put tape down the whole thing, and then I'm going to leave that 1/8 of an inch margin. That. Okay, now I'm going to do another strip going down, so maybe this one will be, I'll go with green again. No, I'll do yellow this time. So I'm going to go down the whole thing, and again leaving an 1/8 of an inch margin in between. Now you can choose whatever margin you want. It doesn't have to be 1/8 of an inch. It can be a 1/16 of an inch. It can be a 1/4 of an inch, but you do want to leave that little space in between. Okay, so for my next strip, I am going to do one that, let's see, how will this look? I think I'm going to go all the way across the entire thing. Now this is very random. You can see I'm just kind of deciding where I want these pieces to go and how I want them to look. So this one is going to go down here. Again, we're going to have that little margin between them. Actually, let me move that up because I need almost this entire strip to get to the other side. And you want to make sure it goes off your paper a little bit. Like that. Okay. My next one's going to be blue. Now, this one, I think I'll go right across this whole thing as well. With this blue one. Then we'll add a lot more green in here. And again, you're going to have that margin. Now I have all this extra green here, so I'm going to trim this off. And I'm going to use this piece right in here. So I'll tape this. And I'll lay this into this little corner, leaving a margin both here and down the side, like that. Now, to make it even more interesting, I'm going to add a few going this way. So, I'm going to start with a blue one, and I just need a little bit of that. Right there. Oh, that's not perfectly straight. Let me angle it so I can see it straight. Okay, so there's a blue one there. I'm going to cut that excess off. I'll put a little green one there. Wait till you see how pretty this looks when it's all done. What's really fun about these is if you're not sure what to do, you're in the mood to do something creative, but you just don't know what you want to do. Now this next one I'm going to put going this way. Make up a bunch of these. Go through your scrap basket, match up some patterns, and just make a whole bunch of these and put them away. And then they'll be ready to use on cards when you're feeling inspired to make a full card. I'll trim that excess off there, and then we'll put one little blue piece in this corner. Right here. Like that. Okay. Now we're going to do some fun ones over on this side. Let's take another one and go this way. We'll do blue. Now, if you cut these with scissors, just make sure they're fairly squared on the top. And if you're having trouble doing that, just slip them into your paper cutter and you'll get a nice straight edge. All right, so add one here. I like to turn it so it's facing me. Now we'll bring a couple over this way. I'm running out of tape today as well, but I have more. There's a couple of things that I do not like to run out of in my house. Paper towels, have to have lots of paper towels, toilet paper, and tape for my stamp room. Those are the three things. All right, and this last one is going to go right in here. All right. Now just a couple more edges to do. Let's add some green down here. And again, leaving that margin on this one, even though the full one goes all the way through to the other side. Okay, like that. These are all kind of getting stuck on my work area. Okay, and then we'll do a couple this way. This doesn't look quite so straight. There we go. Okay, get that up there a little bit higher. Okay, and you can turn them every other time, which is kind of a cool look too if you want. Let's use a blue one down here. And it's really, really random. It's really kind of haphazard, and that's what makes it so cool. It's how you never know which direction they're going to be coming out of. And the last one, again, will be yellow. They seem to end up, a lot of the smallest ones end up being yellow for some reason in my pattern. Okay. Looks like a mess right now, but wait till you see it when it's done. Okay. And then we just need a couple little pieces for this side. So let's do green. We need green over here. I'm thinking we're going to have to go this way because there's not enough room to go the other way. So we're going to need to do two. One here. Let me turn it so I can see better. One here. And again, guess what color? Yellow for the small one. And this one I'm going to take this way. Okay. Now we're going to pick it all up. I'm going to flip it around, and let's get rid of that excess there, though. Now I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to cut away all of the excess pieces. Just cut right along the edge. Being careful not to cut into your cardstock. Okay. And then press everything down. And then we'll turn it and go up this way. This is really so relaxing and so much fun to do. It may seem a little putsy, but it really is fun. All right, and press all those down. It's almost like a quilt. If you really have inspiration, you could also sew in between them and connect them all with maybe a soft pastel thread. That's if you have lots of inspiration. I don't have that kind of inspiration today. All right, and this last side, it's a little hard to see because it doesn't have glue on it, but and then if you do trim a little bit of the cardstock in a weird spot like I just did there, what I would do is just cut that again with my paper cutter to make sure that it's nice and smooth. I don't have my paper cutter over here, but there you go. Okay, so there, these are all sticking to me. There is my very interesting background paper. Now this piece is going to get mounted onto this black onyx piece. Get rid of all my little shreds. This is so pretty. I love the way these colors go together too. Very springy. I could use a little spring across the US, huh? Okay. So there is that nice little black onyx border. And then my final piece is going to be to put this onto a white card base. And that's the way the background is going to look. It looks very quilted, very fun and springy, and certainly makes use of all of those little tiny pieces of scraps that are all laying around in your scrap bucket. Now let me show you a finished card that I made using this background. And every background will be just a little bit different depending on which colors you put first. But here's my finished card, and this uses stamps from the Birthday Essentials StampTV kit. And what I did was stamp the jar and then the flowers on top inside the jar, colored them with some Spectrum Noir markers, and then I added the Happy Birthday to You greeting. And I just kind of laid that one on top of this one using some pop dots to raise it up a little bit to give the card a little bit of dimension. That's a quick and easy card making use of the background paper, and the background paper is something that's just fun to do. Again, when you don't have any mojo and you just want to sit and make something, you can make tons of these backgrounds in all different patterns and have them waiting for finished card projects like this one. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned to StampTV.com for more cards and techniques, and thanks so much for watching.